What's up, everybody? Good morning. Good morning, good morning. All right, so a few minutes still. I was following this, or I've kind of been looking this morning. Just framing setups. Let me bring up this indicator so you can see. All right, so higher time frame real quick. We've already kind of moved quite a bit. Right, this is yesterday, huge sell-off, and now we've basically closed and been consolidating around that low to start out the morning. To me, though, these highs are just too clean, right? So that's kind of what I'm looking at already right away. Highs here, which is the high of the first presented fair value gap as well, right? These are all first presented fair value gaps. So we have upwards targets I would like to see. For the time being, I was simply following this, right? So this is the old liquidity pool we often talk about. Once we clear liquidity and accelerate above that, that area can often hold us. So as we headed into 930, that's kind of what I was watching, how we interacted there. And you actually see we trade right into that level, close a little bit below it, but then we trade up higher. We go to that 1 minute. But we create that first presented fair value gap and then invert that. So for me, I would say that's going to be bullish. So I'm just kind of following that, right? Using consequent encroachment, stop below the low, and then up into that first presented here. Wanted to wait until news, so no entry there, didn't get in front of that. But so far, clean delivery, bullishness. We'll see if we end up running that high already. If we do, then we'll kind of readjust and see if we don't want to keep pushing higher. Right, this is all the daily manipulation. Like, let's say it's going to be a power of 3 using the midnight level. We trade lower. Maybe we get that acceleration higher now. For the time being, it doesn't necessarily play too much of a factor for me, right? The fact that NQ has cleared these highs. Because as I said, we have news at 10. So in my mind, we're just saving these for ES, and we're going to run through those and catch up to NQ. So that's what I would be expecting. You'll also notice that small fair value gap here. Untapped 15-minute. So now we got 15-minute fair value gap just above an area of liquidity. Should be able to get up into that in my opinion. Hourly sense, what's like a 4-hour look like? 4 hours of wick, and then we have a 4-hour fair value gap up here. So in my mind, this is actually a pretty good area to look to see if price doesn't want to return into that. That's also the weekly fair value gap high. And the low, okay. So yeah, for the time being, that's kind of what I'd expect, higher prices. Let's see what we get. I'm thinking maybe we run out some lows or turn into this jumbled area here, this consolidation. First presented and then run higher. Let's see what we get. If we're real aggressive, probably just run straight into that buy side. So 10 o'clock, not too actually aggressive, but let's see what we get up. Yeah, we had news at 10 this morning. I use my FX book. That's who I use when I'm looking at it. Existing home sales. So far, not too much movement actually. We're not surprised. We had a lot of news this morning already. I had news at 8:30 or 7:30, or technically 8:30 Eastern, 9:45, and now again here at 10. So as we said, we're gonna expect buy side gets cleared, should see a return up into this inefficiency. It's a 15-minute right here. We'll see what happens once we do that. Maybe then we get some type of slight retracement that we could work with. First presented here as well, don't forget that. Perfect closure on that high. Should see price, so I'm kind of watching here. Very small. Oh wait, let's pull up. Is that our opening range gap right there? Yeah, so very small opening range gap. Still fighting at that buy side here. So as we said, I want to see if we can't get above that. Potentially keep running then into just this first presented. I would have liked to see a retracement first. But if we keep running, maybe we'll have to use that. Okay, let's go like a 5-minute real quick. Low, high, lower, low, we break through that high. I like the highest up close body, which is right here. See what this 15-minute does actually. So as I said, I would like to see higher prices. That's kind of what I'm leaning towards. So I want us to get above the 15-minute, and then we could use that as an area of entry. Just cleared that buy side, so hit 2 buy side pulls at this point. As I said, I would have liked to see slight retracements at 10 o'clock and then look for another run up. But we'll have to work with what we're given here. Why is you find it hard to enter once buy side is taken? Yeah, that's where it gets a little tricky. As you said, there's still opportunities to look for those continuations, right? But once we hit buy side pulls, we have to wait a little bit more. Kind of let more price action play out. Right, things that I do to kind of confirm that we want to maintain bullishness. So if we want to see price trade up into here, I'd like to see, as we said, I'd like to see us try to clear out a low first. So like maybe return into this fair value gap. If we're able to do that, and then we can accelerate and actually close above these buy side pools, that to me would be kind of an indication we could trust this setup now to look for longs. Right, these new highs here would become our area of support. So they go from premiums turning into discounts. For the time being, I'm really watching this to see, right, this already may be a possible entry. As I said, I would just favor, I want to see us try to get back into one of these fair value gaps here. 10 o'clock is yet to return into any inefficiency. If we just keep running from here, that's fine. But for me to really feel comfortable, I want to see us give a retracement. If we blast through this 15-minute, close above it, leave a discount, then maybe we'll have to look at this being as far as price wants to go, right? Hitting that breaker, maybe holding from there. So we'll find out. Choppy conditions once again in here, right? Really, you could see that London was terrible. Closure above, maybe it looks like that first presented here is going to want to hold. So maybe we'll try something here. Midnight levels here. As we said, that's the breaker. If we close above, we'll see if we don't want to give a retracement. Stop loss will go below this fair value gap. Then at that point, wouldn't want to see less than consequent encroachment. So we can go like that. And then, like you said, we're going to target up here. Okay. I think we'll try our first entry here. I'm gonna see how this closes. If we close above that consequent encroachment, because right, higher time frame wise, this is risky. We'd want to see a 15. Did the 5 close? All right, 5 minute hasn't been able to close either. So on these higher time frames, this is just a wick into a premium. Lower time frames are showing more of the strength. So we're gonna try to rely on the lower time frames, which just creates a little bit less likely, but that's all right. I like that. So at this point, we're going to try to use, we'll look for a deeper retracement just into this fair value gap here. Got these buy side pools now, so we'll see if we get that. However, keep following here. If we're going to maintain extreme bullishness, kind of like a Monday delivery, we're going to hold this fair value gap right here. I want to see a deeper retracement using more of a, right, higher time frame key level, first presented fair value gap. But as far as the most recent price action, closing above buy side here. Notice how that buy side pool is consequent encroachment of this 1 minute. So we may see this be all price wants to do. I wouldn't mind a deeper retracement, kind of relying on just the ugly price delivery we've had this week. A lot of give and take. So if we do invalidate this fair value gap, I wouldn't be as worried just because I want to see this entry here, right? And then for the time being, we do have a few minutes until the 15 and the 5 close. So we may get a scenario where 1 minute comes down to enter. We can then move away, and then by that time, right, the 5 and the 15 can close above. We'll see. So far, we notice, look at that perfect, absolute perfect delivery to the high of the 15. Okay. So yeah, once this 15 closes, that'll give us a better indication. We fall short of that 1 tick, bruh. We got to learn our lesson. That'd be crazy if we stay there. We'll see if we can't hold that and try to get lower one more time real quick. So yeah, I like that so far. If we accelerate through this 15, as we said, that's just unfortunate. Missed the entry by a tick. Quite literally 1 tick. Wouldn't mind trying to see this 15 hold us. So we have about 5 minutes for the 15. So maybe consolidate in here 5 minutes, run back into our area of entry, then accelerate, close above. At this point, we would want all these inefficiencies, as we said. We can get into here. This one I'd want to see stay open. Consolidation. Trade lower. Acceleration, retracement into the range. Consolidation, expansion through highs. Should be balanced. See what we get. So there's entry, we'll see if we fall through that quickly. If we invert this, we can maybe look for shorts, we'll see. But for the time being, I'd like a quick maybe bounce up higher. As you said, could retest this. Stop is right underneath it. So if we wick below that, we'll be out. I'd want to see like the high of that hold us. Yeah, right. So that's kind of why we like for higher time frames to confirm. 5 minute was able to close above. 5 minute volume balance as well. So we'll see if that can't hold us. 5 minute here as well. So stops under that. So a few different higher time frame discounts. We'll see what this does here. Don't like that delivery though, right? When we smash perfectly into highs of 15 to close back below, and then we use it as resistance, that to us is bearish. So as we said, we'll see if we want to run that short-term low, return into this fair value gap that was created just before 10 o'clock news, and then try to bounce from there. That's what we'll look for. Already a little deeper than we wanted to see. We would prefer a wick inside and for the bodies to hold this. We'll see if we still can't. Bodies closing underneath that, just not as good of a sign for us. So bodies are trying to get lower. We've just picked up this low. We'll see if we tap this, if it could be a wick. As we said, if we keep venturing below that, more than likely we'll get stopped and we'll wait and look for another entry. That's fair value gap. As we said, that's about as low as we want to see. We want to be like an institutional order flow. Try to regain this first presented fair value gap and then run. NQ cleared its high, so that's the only other issue as well. Midpoint, so yeah, we'll see if we get low. As you said, if we get low, we'll be out. Well, I guess we have to allow, we'll go one tick just to allow, right, a wick below it. Same idea. Right now, consequent encroachment, we hold it, close on it, but yeah, body's closing below. So to me, right, we're getting stopped. And then we'll maybe reventure into midnight and lower fair value gaps. If we do, we'll readjust, look for something else. So let's stop out, that's fine. My first entry this morning, low risk. As you said, none of the higher time frames closed above, ideally 15. When you're looking at 15-minute inefficiencies, or really any fair value gap, you like to use the correlating time frame candlesticks. So for us, as we said, higher risk because 15-minute was unable to close. Trying to capture more of a, I guess, acceleration through that anticipation. Falls right through instead. So now my attention would really go back to this fair value gap. If we're going to fall back underneath this first presented, I think we get a retracement and right, go to a high time frame. We just stay stuck in this consolidation here. Really curious about this short, to be honest. Back down into first presented. Let's give it a sec. No rush. Gonna close below this 5 minute, it looks like. So my attention, yeah, would go volume balance in the 1 minute. Yep, another heavy ES. Short-term high cleared. Holding that fair value gap. Breaker holds into mitigation. Okay. Yeah, NQ is a lot higher up right now, holding at its first percentage fair value gap as well. Here's NQ. First percent here kind of holds the same trade up. Returned into that inefficiency, cleared that high. So a huge displacement in here still. This could hold us. For the time being, yeah, kind of 50-50 here. So as we said, we'll wait for more information. If we were going to rush bullish, wanted to see that hold us, we fall through it. Retest midnight. We'll see if midnight wants to give us some area of support. Midnight holding well. Midnight still holding well. I'm trying to see if we get under midnight, like we said, it can accelerate into just that first percentage fair value gap again, potentially. As we mentioned, very tiny regular trading hours. Yeah, look how small that is, geez. So when we see that, we kind of expect consolidation, right? That's one of those kind of signatures to expect smaller ranges if the opening range gap is tiny like that. So far, midnight level is kind of the one that's holding us. Volume imbalance right here. Got the potential of that midnight wanting to be the catalyst. Okay, so small is a 15-minute here with this volume imbalance aligned with the midnight level. To me, that's pretty... I just want to see what we do there. If we would like to go lower and then we could reclaim that midnight, I'd probably try that again. So that'd be our second opportunity. If there was a swing level that was put in here, we would try to use that. Oh, excuse me. Might wait till 10:30 here. I think we're gonna sit on our hands till 10:30. So we just cleared that low. Like I said, I'm interested to see what we do around this midnight level. So we clear that low and we return into the fair value gap here. Closing below this would mean actually I would try to see if that doesn't send us lower into the first presented here. Right, as we said, if we're just going to return back into the range, I like the idea of coming back into this first presented. We just ran from there. Okay. So we used that perfectly, actually. That volume balance we were speaking of. Close below the 15. Retracing to the low of the 15. Holding the volume balance. Bodies can't get near it. Hit that volume balance here. So yeah, we're just going to wait. I would watch and see. So if we're going to do this, I'm going to expect that this little fair value gap here and just kind of the 15-minute inversion now should hold us. Of course, once again, like we say, we have to rely on higher time frames to sync. So if we're going to use a 15-minute fair value gap, it's best to wait for the actual 15-minute candlestick to close. This is the 5-minute though, so the 5-minute could hold us, as we said. So far, it looks like we're just going to want to fall right back into it though. Once we trade into this, then we'll reassess, see what we can get. I almost want to just use that, but that's more of a risk entry, no confirmation. Let's throw back some old tools. Let's go. So OTE is right there. We might hold from that new day opening gap actually. Just pulled up the old OTE. That's kind of like the textbook model here. Oh, excuse me. I like this. So at this point for me actually, if we can regain that 15-minute, especially if this 15-minute traded back above and actually held it, I would try to use that. So that's the midnight level. Kind of like we said, right? If we get below it, get back above it, whatever swing low gets put in there, we'll try to use that as the protected low. So now we wait. Missed a short opportunity. Did have one here. I was just going to try to use that. So as we framed out. Took it away though. Fell short of it eventually. Unfortunately. I'm watching the consequent encroachment of this fair value gap, right? So as we've closed below it, that's where we would expect rejection. That's kind of what I'm trying to see here. But we close below it, candle closes on it. This candle opens with the volume imbalance, but notice we actually don't close above it. We instead go lower, right back into first presented. So now we're in first presented. So let's reset a little bit. Back to where we started now. So I like the idea. Let's go to a higher time frame real quick. Let's just hide this all. Pretty ugly in here, right? Consolidation. We've swept out the buy side after clearing out the sell side. Max damage to me means that maybe this low actually becomes what we're aiming for. 5-minute. Body's closing. We've respected the 15-minute aggressively. Yeah, that first presented is just interesting. Because what makes sense to aim for lows, right? I don't know if that's actually the objective. We could just be holding lows. Higher lows, higher lows, higher lows. We've done that a lot this week. So we're still going to wait till 10:30 and then reassess and see if we can't find something else here. So far, 0 for 1. Quick stop out. That's how we like it. opening range gap as well. That's what that little small white area in here is. So just watching, basically, seeing how this opening gap works out. I want to see if we get back above new day opening gap. Right, you'll see once we close below that as well. So we wick it, respect it, close below it, then use it as resistance. That's kind of what we would expect to see. Okay, acceleration, closure above. I think we do that. (15-minute), 1 minute until the 15 closes. 5-minute respects. 15-minute respects. Yeah, real 50-50. Once again, right, at equilibrium of the ranges, we don't like those trades. Lowest low to highest high, midpoint. Oh, midpoint. Perfect. So we've hit the midpoint already. Do we like that? Do we like that? First presented to hold us and give us one more step higher. Max damage has been done. We've swept the buy side. We've swept the sell side. Yeah, this is where we get tricky. Right, when both areas of liquidity have been targeted, sell side, then buy side, inside first presented, showing a willingness to hold. Relative open gap, previous day low. All right. I don't mind trying this actually. So we're gonna go in here with the understanding, or at least the backing, that yes, we've cleared the buy side most recently, but I feel like we can get at least one more run into that first presented here. This blue area is previous day low. We've cleared previous day's low. We've shown we want to respect it, and the first presented is aligned with that. So that should be a pretty strong area in price that can hold us. Never get into the inefficiency that NQ is able to get into. So I don't mind trying this here, as we said. We'll try that. Second entry. Maybe. Did I delete it? Oh, no. Okay. So we'll have another try here. I like the idea of just, right, once again, referring to those higher time frame key areas. We just hit it, so I want to see one more tap of that. If we run from here, unfortunate, but right, I'm gonna expect multiple basically retests of this first presented. So we're just gonna leave it here for the time being. Matter of fact, I'm just trying to debate, do we go even lower midpoint? Nah. We'll get the low hanging fruit entry, so we'll just go at the high of it. So nice, we'll leave that here, and then yeah, we'll see what we get. Let's hide that. Oh, we'll just hide the indicators. And then we're gonna aim, right, that's first presented there. Large range, so 5 handles, I mean, I don't think that's worth at this point. We'll go in here for a partial if we get up there. So yeah, let's see if we can't run out maybe this low or just clear out that low real quick. We'll get in. We'll try to maintain this low as a protected low. Really, we're using this low here as our protected low. All right, it's a swing low that taps that previous day's low. Well, I'm only worried because we could get a situation. One common thing that we've been doing a lot the past few days is, right, clearing that liquidity, reverting above it, retrading into it, and then accelerating. So we've already done that here, which is why I wouldn't want to see us retest. Instead, I would want us to hold this. But right, we may run all the way back down into previous day's lows again, and then try to run. But yeah, I like the idea of trying to get higher. Let's hold it, let's hold it. 61 is resistance. I'm sure, yeah, a little bit. Just an inversion fair value gap, that's all it is. We would expect to see that be a speed bump if we want to get the entry. So I like how we are kind of spending time here, right? If we want to give a quick stab down, slight consolidate, run down, accelerate higher again. Cool. So there's the tap. Now let's see. Right, we want to see this, as we said, accelerate. Brutal day. Sat through London. Yeah, London was crazy. That's crazy. I was like, that's some New York AM price action right there. That's tough. So now let's see, I am looking at this new day opening gap, right? But because price has gone up and down through it so many times, I'm not putting too much emphasis on it. Love that entry. So we'll catch the swing low. Let's see if we can, as we said, we're going to partial out here, opposing inefficiency. Makes sense, right? Just a clean area to target. We could do 5 handles. So like in theory, right, we should partial right there at this high. Yeah, we should. So instead of saying we should and not, we'll do what we preach. Ends model. We've just cleared it, so we'll look for one more tag up there. We may have missed that, unfortunate. At this point, I would try to see if that new day opening gap doesn't want to offer us any type of support now. But as we said, this first presented is more what I'm thinking. Price is just going to continue to bounce off. So we have to rely on the higher time frame key area. We do miss our partial, unfortunate. We may be able to get one more run up onto that. Let's see. 4 hours of pain for you, Mike. Yeah, that would be frustrating. Trading in London, not getting nothing. Remember though, bro, no trade, in my opinion, is better than losing trade, right? Ooh, are we able to, oh, we couldn't close, shoot. So we should, we should be able to at least hit this again. I might just go straight 5 handles, bro. Now we'll leave 1-to-1 with our stop at least. Now I'm same idea watching this, right? I want us to not, or I don't want us to respect that. Same way that we've been going up and down through it, should just run right up through it again. And then for us, our exit was this original buy side pull. That's a partial. We'll see if we can't get there. $10.35. So right now, opening range low. We have lowest low. Opening range high up here. Opening range equilibrium. Right where we are. Right, so I don't like that. I want us to get above equilibrium. That's what I'm looking at. That's kind of what, right, this partial area was at as well. I think we can, like we said, we should be able to hit that one more time, would be my assumption. We'll go right on equilibrium because that is 5 handles actually. So at the end of the day, We're content with that. I don't like this though, right? So we should not be holding that new day opening gap low like this now. But we're committed. You don't like the first presented fair value gap concept. Why is that? With anything though, right? It's not really the concept that is going to provide true precision. It's the time frame. It's more of the time and the market environment. Right. The thing I've learned over the years with these concepts is that, like we said before, they're really just patterns. Right. So I do understand that they offer extreme precision, but the precision is going to come based off of the current market environment, right? The higher time frame key areas. And then you use the concepts basically in conjunction with that to give you the best opportunities. It's like, yeah, right. Every first presented fair value gap is not going to work. And that's why people say ICT doesn't work as well, because you learn the concept and then you go out there and try to implement it and it gets blasted through. Right? It relies more on, I'd say, overall narrative. Because you mean like yesterday, right? Yesterday's was perfect. Let's go to yesterday's. Right, yesterday's held perfectly. As soon as it gets created, boom, holds us, runs us in. We retrade into it once, twice, holds us, and that's what we were using our entry on yesterday. Understanding we've already moved lower. So you can't just blindly trust them, right? I'll give you guys that. You don't ever want to just blindly trust. That's how you get wrecked. We've hit midpoint now, so I don't want to see us try to get higher. If we keep going lower, that's fine. We're 0 for 2, and we'll try one more. Like we say, we give ourselves room for 4. Not always taking 4 a day. Yesterday was just 2, right? With the winner outpacing. So far, missed the partial. Look like we're going to want to get to the low of it, which is fine. Just want to see where that lower quarter is, because that may offer us some protection. It does. We said we want to have stop right underneath that like that. Mistake with the stop. So for me, I want to see this lower quarter basically hold us. That's what all, right? Look, let me go left. That's kind of what we were getting stuck at here. Lower quarter, lower quarter. So lower quarter, if we don't hold them there, more than likely we get stopped. And as we said, we'll either just call it a day for us, or we'll look for one more opportunity, understanding that we may just be ugly up in here again. Bias plus narrative effects. Narrative will always outweigh the patterns themselves, right? I don't like that. So now I'm watching to see, because this is basically our opening range gap, this small white area. As we hit that, we could easily get stuck there and quickly sell off and stop us out. So for me, I'm actually going to close one if we can hit that again. Right, cutting risk right there. As we've invalidated our entry, so we hit that. I don't mind actually closing risk there. So now we don't, if we get it stopped, right, we're not taking the full stop. Because of that, my partial is going to change now. Because if we do start running, we should run up into this area and into midnight. But yeah, just closing at an area that would provide us resistance and move lower, right? So if we're off sides, there's no need to take that whole stop out if we understand we can mitigate some of the losses. As we said, right, hitting that opening range gap, that's going to be an area that will hold us if we want to keep running lower. Only 2 for us today. Well, in the second one, right? First one, continuation, retracement. Second one, trying to use first presented. Just another choppy day. Right, not really true expansions. Monday was really the only clean day. So in this one, we're just trying to get a little 5 handles. We'd want to leave. If we can't leave that first presented, we'll be in trouble. We have a bearish fair value gap now that was created as we went lower and broke through this low. So to me, that's bearish, right? All the signs are pointing towards lower prices. So if we can negate that, that should be pretty, I guess, beneficial for us. Closure above means that my stop loss now goes to that quarter level. Wouldn't want to see that breached. We don't close up. Do we close above? We close above the bearish fair value gap. I want to see closure back above first presented, using that and then accelerate. Because in this, we could just be returning into this choppy consolidation. So let's wait for it. Let's see what kind of close we get. Okay, so far not so bad. As you said, right, partial up here now. Higher partial than the original one. And then we'll leave that final one to run if we can't get up there. Don't like what we're doing in there. I'm looking at this volume imbalance in this small fair value gap that's right here. As you said, if we close above this, I will move my stop. Just because I don't want us to get back below that corridor level with how we're moving. Just choppy. So we've managed to close one in an area that would basically send us lower, cutting risk. We're able to now move our stop loss to a tighter stop, also mitigating risk. And right, so at this point, we have a lot less risk, which is why we're fine letting that trade play out. And this is something I kind of do quite often, right? Those that have been around. If there's areas that make sense for us to mitigate risk at, I'm going to do it. Because I'm always trying to preserve capital. And now if this runs, right, we'll still outpace the loser. So it's a win-win, unless we lose, of course. Then it's just a loss. Straight loss. Straight loss, no win. Yeah, I like the idea of at least trying to get back. Let's say like this inversion here, maybe. We hit consequent encroachment of it. So that's going to be an area that will hold us. As we said, as we close above first presented, we want to see price hold it now perfect. But we don't want to get stuck here now. So I'd want to see us push through and actually, yeah, we could take one off there. So if we're going to be choppy here, we just secure what we can, low-hanging fruit. Right, as we smash into consequent encroachment, one tick lower, 6 handles. We'll see if we get stuck here though. Might get stuck, run lower. Gonna see if 1050 to 1110 can't give us something. That's often what we look for. We do have the inversion there, stop loss below the low. So yeah, at this point we just commit and hold. Whatever happens, happens. I'll be right back. I'm getting some liquid to drink. Oh, okay. So right back under that. As you said, maybe stop here. Once again, just choppy. We would expect consolidation to take place inside of the first presented if we're not going to really try to run anywhere. As we said, very small opening range gaps tend to lead to consolidation and price to return into that as well. So not looking too hot. That's fine though. We'll see if we don't want to just try to attempt to get back above. I think we're just running into those consolidations once again. So a lot of give and take, as we said, can't be thrown out. That low should hold us. At this point, I think I do want to try to get at least a 5 handle partial. Okay, so we've been trying to get a partial off, unwilling to. We've had multiple chances. I think price is saying just take the chance you get, which at this point we probably won't get another one. Greedy. Right at 5, so we'll see if we want to stab. If we can hit this fair value gap one more time. If not, right, if we hold the high of this right now, I think that next candle will attack this low. So that's what I'm watching to see. Like in my mind, right, if this ends up holding and we stay below the actual first presented and can't leave it, more than likely we're going to accelerate straight into that low. So we are able to close above it. That's not enough for me, ideally. We would need 2 candles back to back, as we often say, to confirm true closure above. So now that this candle's hit this high, we'll see if we don't want to just test this real quick. So maybe we can get our partial off. It's playing with us aggressively. Just need one partial. Doesn't want us to be great. Makes sense. Oh yeah, oh yeah. All right. Boring. Let's see what you got to say. Looking at that move on NQ, 655 to 655 was at the pre-morning. Boom, run out the highs, break lower. Yeah, that's not bad actually. Wait, what? I was trying to wait and see if we get partial and change the screen, but I don't know if we do. And I don't want to take a partial there just because it's not worth, to be honest, especially because we've already closed. If we had not closed here near break even, I'll take a smaller partial, but closing means now that I'd rather try to get that full partial off. So now twice now we have basically created inversions here and got back above. So to me, that clear-cut sign of consolidation. As we said, hitting this again, probably going to want to take out these lows, right? Relative equal lows. If that fair value gap right here doesn't hold, we'll get stopped. So that's what we expect. Right through that. So this should run out these lows here. Let's see. If not, this should be the one that expands this, right? We're really compressing here. People would see this as like a flag pattern or whatever they call it, the triangles. I think we just swipe right through that more than likely. Right, looks like we're not trying to. Oh yeah, look at the wicks. Jeez, on the 5. That's hideous. Body straight into it. These bodies cannot even get back above. So far, higher time frame bearish. We close above this or below it again. So now more than likely, let's see if that becomes the inversion to actually stop us out. But that'd be the real move. Because we often see, right, as we look at this here, we close below. We've hit consequent encroachment once, twice. We've hit that quarter level. So as we continue to do this and get lower and lower, each time we're hitting that and we move lower, to me, that's a sign that, right, the bearishness is taken over. Consequent encroachment, break lower. Can't get to consequent encroachment, break lower. Next retest, can't even get to the quarter level, break lower. So at this point, we just need a quick acceleration or else we stopped out. Oh. This is that boring price action though. We've expected it. Don't get yourself too upset. Yeah, this is a case right here, 50-50 for sure. So as we said, lower probability. We're going to rely on higher time frame and try to expand, but shorts, longs, just low probability, high resistance conditions. As we said, take this low to this high, equilibrium, right? Trades at equilibrium are never going to be the best probability unless we're in a trending market, because then price won't want to really test that. But in consolidating markets, trades at equilibrium are the worst that you could take. Where we at, right? That's the reason we're doing this right now. Very obvious to tell, right? We create the low, we create the high, we return right back into equilibrium paired with its first presented, and now boom, we're just completely stuck there. Look at that, that's actually crazy. So yeah, we should break one of these. I mean, I'm not a retail trader, right? But you could just tell when we create these tiny compressions like this, price is poised to take out either highs or lows. In our mind, I'd want a high before low, we'll see. But that is this crazy price action, to be honest. Very ridiculous. Can't help but laugh. I love it. Oh my, it's so funny. New traders must hate. They probably think the market's broken. Like if we were just trying to learn this year, oh my, that'd be very hard. This is equilibrium, so we're going to leave that up because look how price is playing right on equilibrium. Either partial or stop loss at this point should be quick, right? With how we're moving in here, as we said, when we finally escape, it should be a quick movement. I'm thinking it's lower. Just looking at this, right? Unwilling to get above, multiple attempts. Wowza. 1050, okay? 1050 to 1110. Let's do something. What is dollar doing? Dollar just ran out a high, okay? So maybe if dollar can reject here quick look at dollar. Boom, dollar sweeps a short-term high. High day, 1, 2, 3 drives. Let's get a huge sell-off. Let's get NQ and ES to run. Another attempt. All right, so we've closed above midpoint. Is that going to help us? Are we going to want to run? What just happened? Wait, what? Why did that happen? That was weird. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. All right, at this point, like, stop me out, you know what I mean? So short-term high, boom, ran. To me, as we said, I think lows, bruh. At this point, though, take what I say with a grain of salt. This is a textbook example of what we've really been talking about, to where once we commit to the idea in conditions like this, you just have to hold on to it. Right, I'm not going to be in here changing my idea up, down, up, down. Sometimes you really just have to commit. Right, be okay with where the market moves next. We would love it to see go up here, but at this point, I mean, it is very hideous. Because it is moving like this, we will just go back to stop right at the low of this in case we somehow want to like just wick those lows like we're seeing here, right, with this movement. But yeah, to me, this is hideous. I think we would go lower because the fact that dollar was unable to return lower makes me think it's going to keep pushing higher, which should send these indices lower again, right? NQ getting near its low. So now that we've closed below, we've just closed below the opening range right here. That's what this candle's going to hit. Not showing for some reason yet. Oh, I took that thing off. When did I take it off? I'm going to go all the way back. We'll just go like this. Okay, so here comes stop. Oh. Maybe purple now. Why is it purple? Oh, it's because I changed my... I got to go back in once this happens. Scan the bar facts. Scan the barcode, guys. Like, what are we doing here? Just do something. Let's go hide all real quick. Yeah, that's crazy. And right, consolidations take place in previous consolidations. Wow. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4 straight volume imbalances. We get stopped here. It would be, oh, yep, there it is. As we said, quick. Right, if we get stopped, it'll be quick. So now 0 for 2. Are we going to try to push for one more? Let's maybe, I'm not really, this is this gross. Right, not in a rush to do anything here. Even when we get stopped, I hate being in trades for this long. Like here I'm fine with, because right, we're offsides immediately. That's good. But when you're getting a trade and then you're stuck in it, I don't ever like those. Yeah, there's a lot of ways, right? So as we said, small opening ranges gaps are going to lead to consolidations. So already that tells us small opening range, we can tend price to consolidate around that opening range. Clearing previous day levels before the 9:30 open, right? Another clear-cut way to tell that we're going to be in consolidation. We run out yesterday's low before the bell opens, right? So we can expect tougher price action. Now let's see. So if we're going to get that wick, that might be... If we're going to go seek and destroy, okay, let's say that we want to commit seek and destroy. We close below that first presented. So we're actually going to try one last trade. This will be it. If we get stopped here, just terrible market, right? Because the fact that we're going to trade into this multiple times, hold, accelerate. Trade into it multiple times, hold, fail to get above it, and then fall through it. We should hold that bearish. So we're going to try to go like that. Really just flip it. And we'll target the 830. Because I don't like that price delivery. We're going to try to, as we said, sell side was cleared first, and then we ran buy side. So if we're not going to continue, we're probably going to seek and destroy, so we could try to target that. And we do have a first presented fair value gap right there. So, okay. So we're going to try this now. This will be it for us today. Stopped here. We go 0 for 3. Just a tough day. It's going to happen, right? Can't be green every day. Much better than, oh, you'll crack me up. Thank you, Andre. Don't like to compare myself, but if you find value, that's good. And I just started streaming again, so right, took about a 10-month break, which is why a little smaller following. So I feel like as long as I'm consistent, right, we should grow. I was long at the time, but not right. So we were long here, and yeah, we got stopped as we ran into the low of it. So now, yeah, because right, if we go back up and through this, as we said, I'm fine. I don't want to be involved. We do have, I would like to see a higher time frame close. Okay, 2 minutes close below that too, actually. So yeah, I don't mind trying to get this short here. Previous day low, so we're going to use previous day's low. Look at that fair value gap that got left there. Previous day's low. Stop loss goes at equilibrium, because at this point, I don't want to see us continue to revert into equilibrium. If we do, like we say, that's just ugly. We would want this fair value gap to really hold us. The volume imbalance right here. That's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at this volume imbalance. Right, because as I break down the anatomy of this fair value gap, quarter level, just below volume imbalance. Right, don't want to see us get all the way back up here. That's an aggressive spike into that. So already when I see like that, I don't want to see the same speed be met lower. Because if not, that means we're just going to completely invert this. Right, and we're just offsides. Ugly. We didn't clear this low, so I don't mind that either. Straight back up, that would be the max. As we said, that's new. Oh yeah, we're stopped. Okay. So fun. Hey. Another stop. As we said, are we nervous? Are we stressing? No. Why? Because I know I'm going to lose. And why else? My risk allows me to take, I could probably take 10 losses straight and not blow an account. Why? Because my risk management allows that to happen. So as ugly as it looks, right, no one likes to lose. It doesn't cause me any type of emotional, I guess we'll say pain, emotional anguish. Because it's almost built into my trading, right? I understand it's going to happen. This is crazy. So we have one more opportunity, right? Based on my rules. We allow 4 trades, 0.25% each, but I just don't, it's not worth, in my opinion. He said girls will always get more view. I do agree with that. That's just in general, especially women traders, right? People are going to want to watch. Can't blame her. Good for her. And I mean, it helps that she does. I wouldn't say she doesn't know what she's doing. She obviously knows what she's doing. She just may not have as deep of understanding. So people like to watch. Yeah, this is hideous. Right, so like, okay, we could try. Sure, could we try this one more time? Yes. Should we try this one more time? Yes. Quick stopped. Didn't take the full stop. Lowered risk. Fuck it. One last. I lied. This will be final. If this is out, we go with the old golden sombrero, right? Some days we're over. Doesn't happen too much, but let's just clear everything up real quick. Let's just look at price. So NQ returns. Oh, NQ, of course. If we took those NQ longs, that would have been money. NQ is able to hold its first presented perfectly, which to me means we probably do want to get up there, but now we may not get the retracement. We may get a run like this Lower, 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 boom, all up close. I would like to see a quick retracement. It's 11 o'clock, so we're hitting into the 11 o'clock hour. Yeah, let's see. This will be it for us here. Oh, I just want to keep the... Yeah, it wouldn't be a bad idea. Right, clearing those lows, because we have equal lows now. Sometimes equal lows don't get cleared. What I'm really looking at is the body itself, right? We clear these lows and then the body closes back above. So I just want to see if we can't get a quick little run into just some short-term highs right here. I'd want this fair value gap to remain open. Our stop will allow its consequent encroachment. But if we're going to be real bullish, I'd actually like to see that remain open. And instead use just the first, or not the first, well, yeah, first presented high, but also, right, the opening range gap here. But all right, let's see what we get. Kind of similar to yesterday, right? Look at yesterday. Lower, 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 lower. We finally clear those lows, we can get above, and then we use that to accelerate. So I'm kind of looking for that same setup in a way. Lower, 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 accelerate, holding kind of first presented. See if we can't, we actually even left a volume imbalance. That's kind of the same exactly. But yeah, we want to see a deeper retracement just into that first presented again. I think we can give it one more tap and then run, just with how choppy we've been so far. Notice we've yet to close above a swing point here, okay? So no closure above, which means really no confirmation that we want to go higher. So we could easily get stopped. Closure above this will be good. See what we get. How do we get it? See what we get and how do we get it? Hey. Oh. Yeah, it's unfortunate. That was clean there. We actually got what we were speaking of. Isn't that crazy, right? So we said, when you clear out lows like this, in consolidating markets, price will tend to return to that original area of liquidity. It did here, right? When we got above, we did, and then we ran. So I was hoping, as we explained, that we didn't want to test that, but just choppy. So we do actually come all the way back down, hold. Higher time frame probably held that with the wick. Yeah, right. Higher time frame holds that with the wick. So I actually don't mind trying to get long here. If we close above this, and then we'll look for a quick pullback, but I don't know if we'll actually get the pullback. If we run up into these equal highs first, we'll be out. Or we won't, we'll just remove the trade. Yeah, let's see what we get. The SMT, just because NQ's hitting that first presented fair value gap again. So I wouldn't mind a quick retracement. I think NQ will want to clear those highs, but if we can retrace in both, maybe get us into an entry. For the time being, this may be all price wants to get into, actually. Maybe something like this. Just don't want to be too tight. Yeah, especially because we already took 3, right? So with this being the last entry, I'm a little less willing, or I guess I'm less demanding of having like a very precise entry with tight stops. Instead, I'd rather use a key area, higher time frame that price has been referencing to give us a little more opportunity. Right, because sure, yeah, like we could probably try to do this. We don't want that to be traded into, so we could just use new day opening gap high. But as we said, look how much it's been disrespected just today. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. So I'd rather use just an area like this. Double fair value gap is always awkward. Yeah, for sure. But like in the instance like this, right, why would I not want to see this one be traded into? At least it's low. That's because I'd want to see the midpoint of the actual first presented be more sensitive. If anything, the upper quadrants of it, right? So then let's split that into the midpoint again. So here's the upper quadrant of it. And notice, right, where this fair value gap gets created. It gets created as we actually get above that area. So in my mind, as I look at this and I say, okay, we've retested, right, the midpoint, we retested, or we retest the high. We come down, retest the midpoint, we try to leave, we can't. We come down all the way and actually close below, and then revert and close back above it. So if that's the case, and we truly do want to remain bullish, this first presented fair value gap has been rebalanced completely, and its midpoint really shouldn't be tested again. As we said, this has a very high probability of holding from here and running. If that's the case, we'll just not be involved on that, which will be unfortunate, which it looks like we're not gonna. So yeah, more than likely it's just gonna run from there. Heavy 5 minute. If we get above that, maybe we invert. So far, we may have missed that entry. Once again, okay, that was like a handle off, so. But we create perfect equal lows on that fair value gap like that. We did use the volume imbalance, so if you were going to go like that, it would make sense. Unfortunate. What time is it? 11:10. We'll give it about 5-10 more minutes. As we said, if we run into this, that'll be it. Then we'll just miss that. Not be able to get that last entry off. Hitting midnight again. So actually bouncing off midnight lower real quick wouldn't be a bad idea. In my mind, if we close above midnight, we're not going to retrace back into this and we'll probably just end it. All right, that's what this dotted level is. So we've just hit the midnight. Let's see if we can't make a swing high, run out these equal lows real quick, get our entry, and then run higher. We just smashed into that high too, right there. You're getting held at consequent encroachment. $5 minute right there. Yeah, dollar's gone. Which makes me think the fact that we're running in dollar and can't get lower in ES should mean that we can get up here, but as we said, we may have missed the entry, may have been new day opening gap. We want to see a little bit lower. 11:15, I'll probably be out and just call it. I don't need to be sitting in here too long. What time did this trade play out yesterday? We traded lower, and then we traded higher. 10:50, yeah, so you should have already been, because we hit that liquidity buy. Okay. And then we consolidate going into... As you said, I wouldn't mind this being a swing point to return us into some of these equal lows, get us entered, and then accelerate. Okay, I like we're below that 5 minute. See if we can't use it for quick resistance. La resistance. Dollar still going higher, so yeah, we'll see there. Once again, new day opening gap. I'm sure. Whoa, y'all hear that voice crack? New day opening gap again. Yep. So as we said, with how many times it's been disrespected, I just want to see first presented. Hey. Don't be it now, New Day. You don't want to hold us. You want to get lower. I know you do. Short-term sell side there. Do I have an equal low template? No, I need an equal low template. OP partial, sell target. I wonder. Oh, dang, okay. So we got tapped in. Wasn't even paying attention there. Not really looking at that. Let's bring this back up because we're using the first presented, right? So at this point, up and through, we leave it once. We clear lows. We leave it again. Yeah, if we came all the way back down, we're just going to be, in my opinion, probably just stuck here the rest of the morning, right? Continue to play around, as we said, inside of the opening range gap, small white area. Let me take away the first presented for the time being. right? This is the opening range gap. So when we have a tiny opening range gap like this, as we said, that right there is kind of a sign for consolidation. So now that we've cleared these lows, I would have wanted us to wick the lows and not displace and close below it and leave a bearish fair value gap, which it looks like we're going to do. We do end up coming into the lower fair value gap here. We said we can allow a little bit of that. We basically want the high that, right? The high of this fair value gap is the low of the opening range gap. So I don't want to see this hold us. Below that, as we said, we out. Just a tough day. And we'll be over. See if we don't want to give us one more little pump. Pump, 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 pump. Pump it up. So as we get into our entries, kind of take a look around where the other markets are hanging out at. Let's go full, just want to full see everything. So we understand fair value gaps there. Equal lows may be an issue, but I like the idea. We've already took the lows. We'll try for a high. NQ. So NQ clears its low. First presented held well. Unable to take its highs. So SMT at the highs. I'd want to see NQ catch up. Dollar dumping. Wow, interesting. So I mean, for us, if dollar is gonna, like, look at all these lows here. If dollar is supposed to dump and clear out even like 1, 2 of these lows, we would expect the indices to go up. But as we just take a look overall, not really moving in tandem. So I don't put too much respect into that at this point. Retest of the 5-minute gets us partialed out. Above the high gets us another partial. Final exit will be the buy side equal highs if we want to get all the way up there. Could easily hold from this bearish fair value gap though, and then break lower. But right, for me, my attention would go towards now. I want to see us get above the bearish fair value gap here and use it as support, because then it will also be leaving the opening range gap. And also, right, let me bring back the first presented as well. So closure above this bearish fair value gap should be a pretty decent sign for us to see that be used as support and then accelerate. Yeah, dollar. Okay, let's clear out some of these lows here on the dollar. We're retesting inversion, and we want to see that hold now. Revisiting this, just not a good sign. We could still run, but spending too much time, for my opinion. We want to see this be really where we catch ourselves. At least get one partial inside the 5-minute, right? Return into that 5-minute up here. We have yet to close above. Notice that the bodies can't even get consequent encroachment. So far, time being, higher time frame premium holding, which is why I'd want to see this kind of flip that bias, right? Hold the lower time frame and retrace up into that. In my mind, if we want to, especially because we've already held consequent encroachment, if we could retest that with the 5-minute body, and especially if the body can close above that, that should be a good sign for us. Held that nicely, left a bullish fair value gap now inside of the bearish inversion. So same idea, right? Would want this area to hold us, should see us accelerate. Looking for one partial at least at the 5 handle mark. Actually, that's more than 5 handles. So we can go one tick below that in case we get perfect tap of the 5-minute. We don't want to be too greedy, as we often see. Boom, beautiful. So there's one partial. So for me, we're going to go ahead and move our stop. As I said, I don't want this consequent encroachment. right? We would allow the top because that's the high 1/4% of it. The top 1/4% is okay. Boom. We didn't even get into there, so that's good for us. I don't want to see midpoint, so for me, stop goes there. We just hit midpoint here. We're going to take another one at midpoint of the 5 minute. That's another area that will reject us, right? It's already held us more than once. I'm perfectly fine taking that off. Cool. And now we'll try to hold for, let's see, can we, oh, we did close above that. I like that. So this high here becomes my new area of interest, right? That's short-term buy side. Double partial for me means new stop below here. We should not, yeah, okay. So if we get stopped out, profits pay for the stop out. Buy side and buy side. The real question is, which buy side do we target? Do we want to just go low-hanging fruit? Maybe, what time is it? 2:30, so let's see how the 5 minute, especially because the 5 minute, ooh, yeah, that's ugly. Very ugly right there. We closed above it, but notice I'm not, as we often say, the one candle's chance. I love that. One candle opportunity is what I call it. We close above here, but the next candle has to confirm that. Right here, we close above, next candle immediately closes back below. We don't count that a closure above, so then what? We sell off. Same idea. We close above, next candle, even worse, bearish volume imbalance, stays below it. Next candle back to back, bearish volume imbalance, can't get above midpoint. So to me, right, we need to really clear. If we can accelerate through and close above the 5 minute, I will leave this and try to get the actual buy side here. If we hold this, retrace. Yeah, if this candle can't get above right now, to be honest, I'll probably just take the exit here. So if we hold back to back, we run into this fair value gap. We have a chance of running lower again, right? Holding that 5 minute. Maybe let's wait for the 5 minute to close. So a minute, we'll give 2 candles. So this candle, the next candle can close. At that time, if the 5 minute is still basically closing inside here, we're just gonna have our final exit be this buy side pull. Nice. Okay. Yeah, nice. Nice. So now, maybe should have exited. Oops. Let's see how the 5 minute closes. 5 minute closes above this though. I think we can get into that. Because right, not only is it the equal highs, what else is it? It's another 5 minute inefficiency. So I don't mind that at all. But that's yoinks. Yoinks, scoobs. If we get that, I'll just be content and move it here. So let's see. Closing in, oh, volume imbalance. 5 minute closes on the high. Okay, so now let's try to use consequent encroachment and get up there. So now at this point, we can go break even. Yep, risk-free trade, perfect. Risk-free trade. And now, yeah, at this point, since we're risk-free, already profited out, we'll just leave it. See if we want to get up there. And then we'll call it a day. So I like the idea of, right, closing above consequent encroachment, leaving a volume imbalance. So same idea. I want to see us confirm to leave that open and close above this 5 minute. And then we could maybe use it paired with the 1 minute volume imbalance to accelerate us into buy side. Paired with the 5 minute fair value gap. Let's bring that up. Just like that. Yes, closure above, even better. Okay, nice. So yeah, I like that. Inversion here should not be right. We did what we wanted to. We held the inversion as we would expect after trading into the low. We then accelerate. Inversion shouldn't be traded into again. 5 minute volume imbalance is there as well. So okay, I like that. Volume imbalance. I'll take it back. I'm trying to leave if I'm being honest. It's already way past my trade window. So we run out this high. We're just gonna run down the equity close there. Looking for this candlestick's high, and we'll be content with that. Oh, brother. Right, well, maybe we should have went there. That's all right. Stop in profit, so if we want to retest this, we'll be out. We're just gonna go the original buy side. Yeah, we're good there. 5 minute. Negating the volume imbalance. I didn't like that. Completely back in, so we'll see. Especially because NQ just ran its highs, right? So if NQ wants to run its highs and retrace aggressively, want to see us get caught right here. Retesting the 5 minute. Short-term high cleared, breaking structure at the low. Ooh, that might actually be volume. Okay. Fuck it. We're gonna go like this. As I said, just being a little later than I like. I'm just trying to get out of the trade, if I'm being completely honest. Secured most of it, so we'll just close really at that last partial as well. Right midpoint of the 5 minute. Give us about 9 handles. Boom, we out, cool. Oh, that is pretty. Oh my, that's beautiful. Yes, yes, yes. Haha, all right. Well, yeah, can't get more beautiful than that. Well, why am I adjusting it? Well, we see unable to get above the buy side. This candle negates this candle's closure above. We revert right back into the 5 minute. This is a short-term low on lower time frames, right? So what's this? Short-term high cleared, short-term low displaced through with the bearish fair value gap inside of a higher time frame premium. Very bearish model. So as we retrace up into where we would go short, that's where we exit, and price absolutely melts as soon as we hit that. So cool to see. We might still actually run up there, but I'm content with that. So overall, tough day, right? I mean, 0 for, or I guess 1 for 4. So 3 trying to get long here, trying to get long here, try to get short once we broke the consolidation. And instead, all of those get stopped. However, we're still able to catch one nice long into that buy side up here and then into the 5 minute fair value gap. So notice we would trace right back into that first presented, and now we might actually run. We'll see. But yeah, just consolidating in here, right? Zoom out. Consolidating right around once again, pull up equilibrium. Just so you guys can continue to see that, right? We're inside the middle of this range and we keep referencing that. We get near it, we move. We get near it, we move. Matter of fact, most of the key points, like if I was gonna go, just to try to show this real quick. Let's go like this, right? And then drag out this range's points. Right, we can't even, from this high to low, notice how can't even get into, right, like the quarter levels up here. So once we actually put this range low to high in, we immediately revert to equilibrium. And then from there, right, we can't get into the quarter level, the top quarter or the bottom. So just textbook consolidation right around equilibrium of the dealing range, which makes it tough. As you can see, we still are able to find a setup, right, and have success, but it comes after some cuts. Yeah, every day this week's been pretty choppy. At least we understand, right? Been choppy, so we know that we can expect that. I mean, yeah, look at that on like a higher time frame. Hide everything real quick. That's just, eesh. Good luck. Like an hourly 15.5. If you're like a 5 or 15 minute trader, you're just getting chopped in here. So yeah, we'll leave it at that for today. Tomorrow we'll end the week. We have, what do we have to end the week as far as news? Home sales. So we have high impact news again tomorrow, 10 Eastern. So same idea. We'll get here about 9:50 Eastern, and we'll see how we end the week. Once again, choppy day, but right, we're able to find a setup that plays out for us, which is nice. So yeah, we'll leave you guys with that. Have a good rest of the day, everybody. Take care. Where are we creating smooth edges? One sec. I mean, if I'm being honest, to me, I still want higher. Like macro perspective, right? Hide this all. I still think buy side, personally, until we would get below this daily fair value gap that's right here. As long as we're above that, I look for higher prices, right? Understanding, like on a 1 minute, if this was a 1 minute, we would expect that to hold us. Low, high, lower, low, displacement through, bullish breaker, right? So picture this as a 1 minute. This fair value gap would be my flip point. So we could retrace all the way into that and still hold. Even though on like these lower time frames, it may look like prices, right, obviously bearish. I think all of this is just going lower to go higher. So like, let's go to a 1 hour. Yeah, I think all this is just running out some lows. Maybe clear this low and then retrace. Because if you notice, look at these highs. That's too clean in my opinion. We've cleared this low already. We've cleared this low already. We've cleared this low while clearing this low. So if we can clear this low, I would like a retracement. As far as today, I still would really prefer higher prices as well today. I understand we didn't clear this low, but this is kind of a scenario where I don't think we need to clear that low. Because this is a previous day's low. Right, so when we're near higher time frame areas like that, previous day swing points, that's when we often see like equal lows and relative equal lows being formed, because we've already cleared a significant pool of liquidity here with this original run lower. So even though we stab back into it once and twice and we do have liquidity here, we've already ran, right, a major area of sell side. So price can hold this and then accelerate. That's really what I would expect today. As long as we can maintain above first presented, I'd like to see maybe this 15. I don't expect anything crazy, but in short term, yeah, I'd look for highs. And then eventually, maybe later, try to run out some lows, but short term today, I would say bullish. But yeah, fellas, we'll leave you with that. As we said, tomorrow, 9:50 Eastern. I will see y'all there. Until then, stay safe, have a good day, and we'll talk tomorrow morning. See you guys.